put in a motion to the council, as a Labour council, to write to him and demand that he does introduce a national inquiry. So I started reading my motion out, and as I did, people just started leaving the chamber.
But I saw the video a couple of days ago. I think it was on your Facebook account, and it was you in the chamber in Wigan Council. Can't see you, but you can hear. I can hear you. I can tell your voice, and you're shouting.
To shout, they turned my microphone off.
Well, there we go. They turned your mic off, and what you were trying to do was ask a question which you're legally entitled to do because you're a sitting councillor elected by the public. You were trying to ask a question to the Labour-run council about having a national inquiry for the grooming gang scandal. What happened?
Well, what happened was I've always, been interested in what went on with those young girls because I think it's terrible. It's a national disgrace that like young girls can be really put into sex slavery for decades and no one listened to them and nothing really get done about it. I know a few gangs have been prosecuted and been jailed, but it's the tip of the iceberg and no one in sort of authority who covered up for it has ever been held accountable. So I think with Elon Musk raising it, it's now become a national, international concern again. And those girls deserve justice. So I put in a motion to the council when Keir Starmer refused to have a full national inquiry. I put in a motion to the council as a Labour council to write to him and demand that he does introduce a national inquiry. So this motion went forward, which I was a bit surprised really, but it did. So what happened then was at the meeting, which people had told me, they said they'll somehow try and get out of this. The meeting, the agenda was a lot longer than it usually was. My motion was right near the end. So this is my view, and I'm certain I'm right, and so are a lot of other people. They sort of dragged that meeting out past 3 hours, and then just as it was time for my motion, they called it to a halt and said that it had run out of time. So I just said, can we have more time? And will people please stay and listen to this very important motion? It was like a bit of commotion and everything. And they didn't really take any notice of me. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead anyway. So I started reading my motion out. And as I did, people just started leaving the chamber. To be honest, one Labour lady councillor, she remained and listened to me, and some of the independents, but I just carried on and on. They all walked away. Well, I was very annoyed about this, so I did post the video because really, what is more important than that issue? We talked a lot about a lot of things in that meeting, other motions. I'm not saying some weren't valid, some to me were quite trivial, and I just think it was purposely done because for some reason they do not want to talk about this issue.
What's the name of the female Labour councillor who stayed behind? Because I think we need to know her name because she did the right thing. But what's her name?
She did. It's Pat Draper.
Well, Pat, good on you. Good on you for having your morality take precedence and not being kowtowed to the Labour Party and your bosses in the council. But every other Labour councillor who walked out, disgrace on them. I mean, if you were talking about potholes or building a new hospital, even though those things are important, I can imagine, nobody wants meetings going on 9 hours. I get that. But you're trying to talk about the mass rape of poor white working class girls throughout the country and in Wigan. It went on in Wigan. I'm absolutely positive it would have gone on in Wigan. And rather than listen to that, they decide to walk out. They walk out on a discussion on a mass rape of children in our country. Can they not see the optics of that, of how that looks?
Exactly. But I think for too long, all the Labour councillors have just followed the Cabinet's lead. They vote on whatever the Cabinet want. To me, it's an oligarchy, really. They very rarely, I don't know if they ever have voted against what the Labour Cabinet decide. And I think, personally, they probably are all concerned with this issue. But when it was said, right, the meeting is ended, and I asked them to stay, they just do, in a way, as they're told. It's very sheep-like, right, off we all go. So good on Pat for staying.